And good evening, and welcome to the March 12th meeting of the Murfreesboro City School Board. We're glad to have all of you with us that are in the audience tonight. We're glad to have those that are at home watching on TV. At this time, I'm going to ask you to stand as we have two young people, Savannah Wiggins, a 5th grade student from John Pittard, along with Alden Johnson, a 2nd grade student from Bradley, to lead us in our pledge, followed then by our moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now our moment of silence. Thank you. Members of the board, you have received a copy of the agenda, and I hope that you have looked at it, and I'm sure that you have, as always. Right now, I'd like to have a motion, please, to approve the agenda as printed.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ballard. Any question or comment? I see none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? And there is none. Thank you. Communications, Ms. Trail.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Have a few details for tonight. We're going to start off with the fact that zone waiver applications are open now through April 1st. So anyone who is wishing to have a zone waiver for next year needs to go ahead and complete that application. All the details about the zone waivers are on our school's website, so just visit your school website. Kindergarten registration is April 2nd through the 30th. With the Kinder Assist Day on April 4th for families who are needing assistance, whether that's computer assistance or just language assistance or whatever it is. So that date is April 4th. That will happen at our central office. Schools are having preview days for tours and information, mostly in April, some in March, and one in May. But all of the dates are listed on the school's websites and as well as on the district website. So again, if you have a child that's entering kindergarten next year, it's hard to think about it, but if they turn 5 by August 15th, they are ready for kindergarten. You can go ahead and tour those schools and get to know your principals and teachers before that big day arrives. Our Gifted Academy will have their graduation ceremonies on Saturday, March 16th at our central office. I hope you all can attend that. It's always a great event, and we're so proud of that Gifted Academy and all that they do. The MCS Student Art Show at the Frisk begins March 16th through March 31st. It is really an amazing event, so if you have the chance to get to Nashville and see those children's art at the Frisk, it's just a wonderful sight. STEAM in the City is March 19th. It will be at the Lane Agri Center from 5 to 7 p.m. We are still looking for a few community partners to serve as judges or as helpers for our team. So if you're interested in that, please let me know, and I will get you signed up. And again, that is March 19th at Lane Agri Center, and the schools, the STEAM accredited schools, will be showing off their talents for sure. And we will have some robotics there as well. MTSU Tennis Clinic for MCS students is scheduled for March 21st. That's next week. We will be playing on the new courts at MTSU. We will be their first big clinic, and we're very excited about that, to get out there on those courts and see all the new things that MTSU has to offer. MTSU men and women's tennis host us, and they do such a tremendous job. Spring break, for those who don't know, is March 25th through 29th. The school year has just passed us by, so we are already looking at spring break. And I also want to take time to thank Publix, United Grocery, D&D, and Junior's Foodland for their donations to our cooking area for the African American Cultural Celebration that was held last week at Patterson Park through Bradley. Special thanks to Rutherford County Chapter of the Delta Sigma Theta for donating girls' intimates to the McKinney-Vento program as well. Now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Pope, and we're going to talk about Invention Convention. We have two different schools here with us tonight. We're going to start off with Irma Siegel, and I'm going to let her tell you what all they achieved.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
Come on up. All right, I have several students here that won awards our Invention Convention this year. We were just excited that our Invention Convention went off without a hitch, and we didn't have any weather or tornadoes or whatever like we've had for the past several years. So first up, I'm going to start with, this is Josiah Hines, and he won a bid to nationals for his invention called Spongy, which is something to help soak up, so like a sponge to help clean his tank so it doesn't soak up fish and eggs and things. So that's Josiah. Next up, we have Finley Dickerson. Hello. She has a partner who's not here, Ved Patel, and she won a Best Presentation Award for fifth grade games for her game History Split. And she and her partner were very passionate that science and social studies often get, you know, the shorter amount of time in schools, and so she wanted to invent something to help kids enjoy history. So next up we have Sophia, Lily, and Ashton, and they won a Judge's Favorite Award for their, they entered the entrepreneurship category, and they made a business called Duo Plush. With the obsession with kids with stuffed animals nowadays, theirs is like 2 stuffed animals in 1. So they won Judge's Favorite for that. And then we have 2 more that couldn't be here tonight. Emmy Loy and Ave Grace Cutter, they won a Judge's Favorite Award for 5th grade games, and they made a game called Memory Match in honor of Emmy's grandfather who has Alzheimer's, and so she wanted something that she could play with him because she can't really play games with him anymore. And she won a bid to nationals. So wow. Those are our people.
Woo!
Good evening, Board. I'm
Good
Tamara
evening.
Cosby,
Good
and
evening.
this is Abby Brown, and we are with Overall Creek. And this is our crew. We are missing 2 as well. This is Ryan, this is Zoe, and this is Salome, and they won the overall Best Presentation for Entrepreneur. They did a boot that has lights on it that glow. They're beautiful, they glow, and they won for Entrepreneurial. And then we have Brody and Martin, and they won Group Champion for their 4th grade game, Multiplication Dice Duel. And they were feeling the same way that Miss Pope's kids were feeling, that some things are just not as fun unless you play a game. So now they have a multiplication game. And then we had 2 students, Alice and Ava, and they won a bid to nationals.
Excellent. Woo-hoo! There you go.
I know you guys are like me. It's always nice to have a full house, and when they're mostly children, it's even better. I don't want to overlook robotics and Overall Creek, but we're going to talk about them at another board meeting. We had so much to celebrate tonight that we want to spread the wealth on that, but they did do a great job at their state competition.
Lisa, I'm sorry, I just want to make one point, because I think I heard, and I believe this is the 2nd year in a row that Invention Convention participants from Murfreesboro City have won trips to nationals. I think this is the 2nd year in a row.
I would say it's more than that.
Right, yeah,
Yes,
so
because
I know
they
last year we had a student from Mitchell Nelson as well, so continuing to shine and getting all the way up to the national level. So
Great.
Ms. Pope, Ms. Cosby, what they do, and all of our Invention Convention leaders, great job on them for sure.
Yeah, and Miss Pope, I did try not to text her at the beginning of that morning because the past 2 Invention Conventions, we have had tornado watches and everything else, and I'm like, I don't know what we're gonna do. So I didn't want to jinx that. But yes, Invention Convention is amazing, and going to nationals with Murfreesboro is just so amazing as well. And then we will also have Science Olympiad that's coming up, and we'll discuss that upcoming as well. So, but I think what we're all waiting for right now is this wonderful group of students. The central office had the chance to get a premiere party today of Little Mermaid, and I just want to say it was fabulous, just absolutely fabulous. The set was fabulous, the music was fabulous, the kids were perky and funny, just so funny. So good job on that. And Dr. Lewis, am I turning it who am I turning it over to? Okay, you're getting ready? Okay.
Life in the sea is better than anything that got to that. The seaweed is always greener. Somebody consistent. You dream about going up there. The cactus in your state. Just look at the world around you.
So you can see the entire performance March 15th at 6 p.m. and March 16th at 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Tickets are $10. It is worth it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Bradley Drama. And
Yeah, if I can, I got to interrupt here. I want to say thank you to Ms. McMullen, our drama teacher. Truly, I was blown away today, not just with the singing and the acting, the costumes, the sets, the props, the work that she has put into this with her team there. So I want to say thank you. It was absolutely a fantastic show today.
Thank you so much. They've worked so hard. I'm so proud of them. Please come out and see our show. It was just a little snippet of how awesome they are. It's phenomenal. So definitely by Friday and Saturday, top notch. So thank you.
okay, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Duke.
And I'll walk down, and I think we'll have a chance for some of our guests to exit.
Oh, that was just too much.
That's cute. Mr. Chairman, in the meantime, I'll say I've watched it today too. It was incredible. It was fantastic. Funny, talented. You have to keep reminding yourself these are elementary school kids because they're really that good. So.
They're like all age groups, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. And there's little Flounder. She's little, and yeah, and
I gotta go see this.
steals some scenes. So it was
that's
great.
incredible.
I can promise you it'll be the best part of your week. It's the best part of my day.
I gotta go see it. I'll go Friday.
Bradley Drama Team?
Yes, I think we're going to go on to the best of MCS. And tonight, I am honored as we continue this celebration to do our best of MCS for March. And I am honored to recognize a wonderful MCS educator and introduce her to the board as this month's best of MCS honoree. And I am pleased to ask Ms. Regina Fisher to join me at the podium, please. Ms. Fisher is currently one of our Tier 5 CDC teachers at Salem Elementary School. As the board is aware, our Tier 5 CDC educators work with students who have specialized needs and need additional services and support to access their education. This role is not only critically important to the success of our district, but it's educators like Ms. Fisher who help ensure all of our students have opportunities to be successful. This is Ms. Fisher's third year with us in MCS, and prior to coming to Murfreesboro, she worked in Franklin County Schools for 10 years, with all 13 of her years being in a CDC classroom. Wow. She was nominated for this honor, and I love this, by one of her students' parents.
Aww, I love it.
The parent stated, and this is the parent's quote, "Ms. Fisher is a CDC teacher who goes above and beyond for all of her students, including my own child. My son is nonverbal from a stroke that he had at 4 days old. Ms. Fisher holds him accountable and ensures he is personally and academically successful every single day. She faces many challenges with her students in her classroom, but she never gives up on any of them. My son recently had seizures again in August, and she immediately reached out to check in on him and see if there's anything she could do to help. She plays a key role in helping my son communicate by completing and was helpful in getting him a device to assist him, which we call his voice. I have prayed for him to have a teacher just like her. Several of our special education district's support staff also have said these supportive comments to share, including one that said she joined our team in 2021 and she jumped right in, supporting MCS's students in the comprehensive development classroom. She has influenced the lives of one of our most vulnerable populations, and I am grateful that I can witness as she prepares our students for the world ahead." Another stated that she constantly advocates for our students and is known for building positive relationships with students and families. Ms. Fisher, it is one thing for us to talk about how great you are, but I tell you, I think the true test there is to have a parent say what a difference you're making for that child. So it is clear that the impact you're making on your students is life-changing. So I want to thank you for the passion that you bring to your job, the perseverance you show in the midst of difficulty, and the commitment to ensuring all of our students are successful. So on behalf of Murfreesboro City Schools, let me thank you for bringing your talents to our district and for representing the best of MCS. Okay, thank you.
All right, so thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. Spotlight on education. We're going to recognize the reward school.
Yes, sir. And computer dies. We're going to keep going. So we are going to continue our night of celebration tonight, and I am very pleased to be able to recognize the next few individuals who represent the great work that's happening in our district. In late February, the Department of Education officially released school and district designation statuses for last school year. Now, this is significantly later than we typically receive this data, but we definitely did not want to let this opportunity pass without recognizing these individuals. So it's with immense joy that I'm able to say that 6 of our schools achieved reward school status this year. Reward schools are identified for exemplifying student success in both achievement and growth. Across the state, only 20% of the schools achieved this status, so I'm so pleased to say nearly 50% of Murfreesboro City Schools achieved this highest ranking, and several more were just a few tenths of a point away. So I'm going to ask these principals to come up and just stand behind the podium for me. With Black Fox Elementary, Tiffany Strevel, Reward School, 3 years in a row. And I shouldn't have started there because that's the only one I have. Bradley Academy, Dr. Lewis. I'm going to go ahead and say Mr. Rocha can join that too because he was at the helm. Yeah, get up there. Irma Siegel Elementary, Miss Spencer and Miss Clark are here. Woo! Come on up, Miss Clark. Northfield Elementary, very proud. Miss Campbell with Northfield.
Yeah.
Overall Creek Elementary, Miss Ortiz, Miss Whitlow, I think I saw you, and Miss Snell. All of you can come on up. Come on up. And of course, Mr. Barch, you might as well join him. Mr. Barch,
There you go.
last year. And then finally, so proud, Reeves Rogers Elementary.
Yeah.
Dr. Boyd. So these are our reward schools, and in just a second, we're going to give them a sign and get a picture of them in front of the board, if that's okay. We are so unbelievably proud of these schools, and there is no doubt that if you ask any of these principals about the success in their building, that they're going to point to the teachers, the EAs, and the support staff who give their all for their students every day. And I'm going to agree with them on the points. And I want to join them in thanking our staff members for helping us achieve this recognition. However, there are some things I know, and then there are some things I know for sure. And let me tell you what I know for sure. I know for sure that we do not have great schools without great principals and great assistant principals. I have had many jobs in education, and I can say wholeheartedly that being a building principal is perhaps the most challenging job in all of education. We ask our principals to manage the operations of immense school buildings, oversee hundreds of employees, ensure the safety of up to 1,000 students, and on top of that, to be instructional leaders and know the content that teachers are teaching. Yet this group has elected to embrace the challenge, and they do it with smiles on their faces every day. So I am so pleased to honor both them and their schools for their success, and I want to publicly thank them and all of our district leadership for a job well done. So I'm going to ask principals if you'll come up and stand in front of them. We'll get your signs and we'll get a principal board.
Okay, board, I'm going to get you to stand behind that, please. You don't get to. I didn't want to shut it. All right, here we go. Everybody's got it their correct way. Mr. Shacklet, do you want to push back here?
Come on.
Come on in.
Be a part of the team. Okay, are we ready? Dr. Lewis, ready? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I got that. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Thank you. Congratulations, principals.
Job well done.
Job well done.
It's amazing.
Thank y'all so much.
Huge success.
What a night, what a night.
Next on the agenda is public comment, and although Dr. Duke doesn't know anything about it, we do have a public comment tonight, sir.
Uh-oh.
And that comment means that you got to stand up.
Oh. Oh, wow. Right there?
You're on the firing line.
But I need you to, have you ever seen on TV the game Jeopardy?
Yes.
Oh,
All right, well, I'm gonna give you some things, and you've answered the question. 1,130 days.
What is 3 years?
No, no. 1,130 days ago, you were offered a contract to be the director of schools for Murfreesboro City. Wait, I'm not through. Remember, you're our employee.
Yes,
okay? What is 1,096?
When I started?
You're, boy, how you are.
Boy, aren't he sharp? That's why we hired him.
Yeah. Not the formal question, yeah.
How many days ago you started as director of schools of Murfreesboro City Schools? And I want to tell you, from me, and I think I can speak for the board, we are very proud to have you as our leader. You have done a marvelous job. You continue to do things very well, and you continue to keep us informed on all the things
Yes.
that we do and we should do and we can do. That's right. And because of that, and because of 3 years, you've had 2 or 3 little trips. You've been to San Diego, and I don't know where else you've been, but now this summer, I understand you're going to Seattle
That's correct.
for how many days?
I really don't know. I guess 3 days. 4 days.
Whatever Lisa tells you, right?
Well, we have provided for you. Pass that down. I'm not going to stand up because he's standing up. That is a gift certificate for 2 different restaurants in Seattle. So that you can go and eat and enjoy yourself, and remember us peons that are back here. Thank you very
kind.
much.
Thank you. Every day's a joy. Every day's a joy. I love it.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen of the board, we have a motion to approve the consent items.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Settle. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Long. Any question or comment? I see none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? And there is none. Thank you. Action items, budget amendment for VPK. I'll get it in a minute.
Yes, sir. This amendment will move funds from the 7-1100 regular instruction category to the 73-400 early childhood education category, as well as corresponding entries within early childhood education to offset some changes in benefits. This movement within the general fund is to help place current voluntary pre-K educational assistants in the correct budget category. It will not create any additional positions, and there are no programmatic changes. We are recommending approval of this amendment so we can best track the cost and price of VPK. The total allocation is $46,061 to various new budget line items, and we are recommending approval.
We have a motion to approve the budget amendment.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Dodd. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Any question or comment? I see none. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposition? And there is none. Thank you. Budget amendment for ARP homeless.
This budget amendment moves $8,113 within our American Rescue Plan Homeless 2.0 budget. The unused funds will be moved from the other student support and benefits line to communications, salaries, benefit, gasoline, and contract line items. Funds are going to be used to add summer coordinated school health support to screen eligible homeless families, provide life, medical, and dental benefits for our new McKinney-Vento van driver, and as well as provide gasoline and tracking services for the new McKinney-Vento van. There are no changes to fund balance or new revenues with this amendment. This will just help ensure we can expend all these funds before the grant deadline in June. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
We have a motion to approve the amendment budget amendment.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Long. Have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Any question now?
Question.
Settles?
Yes, sir. I think my question is only on verbiage. I don't have any issue with the actual, what's going on. We had another policy in which we changed the wording of homeless to either unhoused or something like that. I mean, I know this is the same thing. Is there a way, or can it not be changed because the federal government calls it homeless? Or
So it is titled, we have titled it the way the grant is titled.
Got you.
To make sure there's clarity there. So this comes, it's a federal grant that's a pass-through at the state level, and it's listed as the ARP Homeless 2.0 grant, and that's how we categorize it.
That's what I thought. Thank you. That was my only question.
All right, any other questions? I see none. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposition? There is none. Thank you. Budget amendment for ESSER 2.0.
We are seeking approval for the budget amendment to the ESSER 2.0 funding source. This amendment adjusts the final revenues and expenditures from the projected to the actual final amounts. This budget amendment officially closes out the ESSER 2.0 project. This amendment decreases the remaining ESSER 2.0 revenues and expenditures by $3,932. The final complete ESSER 2.0 allocation from FY21 to FY24 equated to $5,638,135. We are happy to answer any questions you may have, and we are recommending approval of this amendment.
We have a motion to approve the budget amendment for ESSER.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Dodd. Any question or comment now?
Question on that.
Yes, sir.
As we draw down the ESSER money, does that just extinguish what we're doing with the ESSER money, or is there money flowing back in to fill that up?
So this money, the final ESSER 3 money, this is the last year for that. So ESSER 2 actually ended last June, and it's kind of taken us this whole year to get rid of that. ESSER 3 will officially earn in June 30th of this year, and we'll have a little bit of time to draw down probably till Christmas, and then we'll do some final amendments. Obviously, it's a big chunk of money that we're not going to have as a safety net that we've had for the past 3 years. We're planning for that, making sure we have our positions transferred in, but we've been doing quite a few budget amendments, budget meetings at the office, obviously preparing for our workshops in April, and Mr. Rocha and his team with Dr. Hill, and then the finance department, again, looking carefully at that to make sure we know where we're moving these programs, and then we'll be able to detail that in depth at our April budget meetings.
Okay.
But we are not looking at major cuts. We think we're going to be able to absorb most of that because we planned for it. We knew this was coming. We knew the money was going away, so trying to plan for that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposition? There is none. Thank you. Title III Immigration Budget Amendment.
We are seeking approval to amend the FY24 Title III Immigrant Grant. This amendment recognizes $4,048 in new funding and includes $619 in carryover funds. These funds will be used to purchase additional Imagine Learning licenses for our English language learners, which is a computer program we learned that is specifically designed for English language learners. We recommend approval, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
We have a motion to approve the budget amendment for Title III.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ballard. Any question or comment? I see none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? And there is none. Thank you. TISA funding budget amendment.
Yes, the TISA state funding formula provides outcome bonuses to districts that achieve specific targets in student performances. Bonuses are awarded once per year for the measures obtained from the previous year. So students who meet the predetermined targets generate an outcome bonus of 10% of the base funding. And if that student is identified as an economically disadvantaged student, an English learner, or a student with disability that meets the target, the bonus value for those students is 20% of the base. Based on last year's data, Murfreesboro City Schools generated an additional $824,572 in TISA outcome funding. In January, the board approved allocating $250,000 of new TISA money to a security project. This amendment budgets an additional $314,500 to fund increases in our maintenance categories, as well as increases that are being found in our workers' compensation expenditures. We recommend approval, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
We have a motion to approve the budget amendment for TISA.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Long. Have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Any questions? I see none. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? There is none. Thank you. Budget amendment for general purpose fund.
Yes, sir. This amendment reallocates $176,725 of funds within the general purpose school funds with no net change within the categories. This amendment addresses several areas that need adjustments. That includes benefits and insurance, of course, because those change during open enrollment time. We have increases in our contract services within the special education category, increases in our maintenance and repairs for our buses, specifically around tires, and an increase in contracted services for our janitorial contract, which renews in April. And I do want to point to that. If you remember, we went with ABM last year. We started in April, so the contract was April to April. So we are now at the renewal point, so we need to budget for that 3% increase, which is part of the contract. But with that, we've also adjusted that contract. So next year, the new contract will go April to the next June, so that we are back on the fiscal year cycle. And so we are recommending approval of these amendments within the general purpose category. All the funds are being reallocated from savings found in other line items within the same budget category, and there are no programmatic changes.
We have a motion to approve the budget amendment for fiscal year 24.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Suttles. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ballard. Any questions?
I have a question.
Ms. Dodd?
So the 3% increase, we knew about that, right?
Yes, that was.
They didn't,
No, that was part of the
Okay.
contract, the standard kind of cost of living increase for their employees at 3%. The contract gives the difference between 3% or the CPI index, which is I don't know if Lauren, you want to talk about what the CPI index is?
It's some type of federal formula, but we have researched it thoroughly.
We have researched it thoroughly.
enough said.
But all that to say, the 3% was to our benefit, and that's what we went with this year.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Long?
The janitorial services, I'm assuming that all that's going well?
Yes, Mr. Barchon, if you want to give any updates on that. I know staffing is almost at complete 100%. Is that correct?
They have staffing issues at different buildings, and then they hire, and they're on the onboarding process, so it's very fluid. But they're doing, at the beginning of the year, it was in the upper 70s, and now they're in the 90%. Whenever we get a monthly report. And we should have another monthly report any day on February.
And I will say that's one thing, I'm sorry, Ms. Long, that's great, is we get a monthly report based on both on staffing to let us know where staffing may be missing, and then every principal has the opportunity to do a report card every month, and we get those results to identify any school that may be in need. And they've been great to come and meet with us, meet with Don and his team on a pretty regular basis to discuss those challenges.
So that's what I was going to ask, the teachers and principals happy?
They're working hard. It just depends on the staffing and how that's going. But overall, we're in a much better place than we were when we were trying to handle it ourselves.
Okay.
Significantly better place.
I can go with that.
Thank you.
And I think that's fair to say, and you know, I think they deal with the same staffing issues that we deal with. They have a much bigger pool to pull from and work through that. But I continue to say I am very confident that we are significantly ahead of where we would be if we were still trying to manage this ourselves.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? I see none. All in favor of the budget amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposition? There is none. Thank you. Approval of contract for Mid-South Bus.
Pursuant to Board Policy 2.808, this purchasing agreement with Thomas Built Buses Incorporated is submitted to the board for approval. The board's adoption of the terms of this agreement will allow the district to purchase school bus parts from the local Thomas Built Bus dealer, Mid-South Bus Center. In approving this purchasing agreement, the board will be adopting the terms of the Sourcewell contract. The anticipated cost for tools, parts, and services under this agreement will exceed $50,000, which is, of course, our contract threshold. However, they will remain within the approved budget amounts, including the amendment you did tonight. And with that, we are happy to answer any questions, and we're recommending approval of the contract.
Have a motion to approve the contract for Mid-South Bus Center.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Dodd. Any question?
Yes, I have a question.
Mr. Ballard?
So currently, without this agreement, we're just buying what's available on the market without any, we're doing our own shopping then. Is that the case?
So Thomas Built is really our primary vendor for buying bus parts. Now at this point of the year, we've bought enough that we're crossing that threshold of actually having a contract in place. I don't know if you want to speak more to that.
So if we were going to not go with this contract, we would have to bid it out because we're close to that bidding threshold. The cooperative purchasing agreement through Sourcewell allows us to enter this contract in with local dealers still remaining in the area, but satisfies those requirements in compliance with the state law requiring bidding.
Okay. So they're our go-to supplier for that, without bidding then.
Yeah, and we, again, because we were at the end of the year, we're now kind of getting so close to that $50,000 threshold, we have to make some decisions. Do we do a formal bid, or do we, since we already have them on a Sourcewell contract, we're able just to join that. It's local, same prices, and the people we're used to working with.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
No other questions? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Any opposition? And I see none. Thank you. Approval of the state master contract for Category 2 E-rate funding.
This is actually the second E-rate contract I believe y'all have seen this year, but in accordance with E-rate requirements, a mini bid was completed to replace the switches and the racks for our technology at Mitchell Nielsen Elementary, Irma Siegel, John Pittard, Cason Lane, and Scales. Switches in our network connect multiple devices to allow them to exchange the data packets, and as a network's needs increase, switches must be updated, and these are the switches that are most in need of updating. The state consortium requires the state master contract order form be completed and signed by the board following the awarding of the mini contract. The contract in your packet requires your approval prior to us filling the form out to request the company to do the E-rate reimbursement. As a reminder, E-rate provides 80% of the funding for these services. The balance will be paid through our GP budget, and we have that in the budget already approved by the board. And we are recommending approval of the state master contract so we can request the reimbursement for these funds.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Suttles. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Long. Any question or comment now?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you clarify, do we already have the new switches and racks in, and this is just to get reimbursed for that, or we do this first and then that equipment goes in? I got lost in the.
I'm going to defer to Mr.
Okay.
on this.
Ms. Savisa has it prepared upon approval to purchase those items.
Okay, so this is a preliminary step to getting the things. It's not, they're there, and now
Correct.
we get reimbursed
Correct.
for it. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So improvements to come.
Yes.
Okay.
Other questions?
Yes, can we keep Mr. Barch at the podium all night?
I'll just keep
I'd
it
like
coming
that.
back.
Is that a motion?
I'll take it under advisement.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? And there is none. Thank you. All right, we're ready for state master contract for Category 2E.
I think we just
Oh, we
did that
just
one.
Did that one.
But we are ready for it.
Yeah, we're ready for it. It's just, we're dealt.
Reports and information, summer school.
Good evening, Board.
Good
I wanted to
evening.
take just a minute tonight and give you a summer school overview. So if you'll give me just a second, get this a little bigger, maybe. Okay. So summer school 2024, if you can believe it. Just to let you know a little bit about summer school. It's a little small, so I'm gonna have to read it to you. Summer school begins June 3rd through the 28th. This year, we're doing it Monday through Thursday from 7:30 to 1:30. Fridays are going to be makeup days for our third grade. And this year, our learning camps for our pre-K2 is called Summer Learning Camp, and camp for grades 3 through 6 is Learning Loss Camp, all combined into one. Our waiver has been approved, so we are good to go with these dates and with these days and times. Who are we asking? We are asking all pre-K through 6th grade students who are at risk, and it is by invitation only. We are staffing each school with a ratio of 13 to 1, so no more than 13 students within the classroom. We will have 2 EAs and 1 office administrator. The stipend for teachers who have volunteered to teach is $300 a day for teachers, $30 an hour for EAs, and then $360 a day for our administrators. The criteria for priority for our students, we chose 2. Students that fall below the 50th percentile on Ames Webb's winter benchmark, and any student that may be at risk for not meeting grade level expectations on future TCAP test. Just a little bit of additional information. Transportation will be provided to students Monday through Thursday. There will not be transportation on the days that are required for makeup. Breakfast and lunch will be provided each day. We will have nurses and SROs in our building at all sites, and crossing guards will be there for arrival and dismissal.
Right.
So very excited about that. We are at 6 schools, 6 hosting sites this year. Discovery paired with Salem. Reeves Rogers is a hosting site paired with Black Fox. Scales is paired with Cason Lane and Overall Creek. Northfield with Mitchell Nielsen. John Pittard with Irma Siegel, and that at John Pittard will also be our 6th grade district-wide classroom. Bradley is paired with Hopgood, and that will hold our district-wide pre-K classroom as well. And some of the reason for the selection of schools was some schools are under construction. So that was our reason there. Here is our schedule. Just to point out some highlights, we will have 2 hours for literacy each day, 2 hours for math each day, and then an hour for intervention. And then you do see we have recess and lunch hidden in there as well. We do have our curriculum training dates. Those are in May for our teachers. We've kind of changed that a little bit. Those that have been teaching with us for a while, we've shortened the training for them, but that will take place from May 16th through May 22nd. And then as of right now, we have all 7 administrators selected. We have chosen 7 because we're going to place 2 at Cason Lane just because of larger numbers. We have 128 teachers that have committed to summer school teaching, and that was out of 158 that were interested. As I mentioned earlier, we'll have 1 pre-K classroom. Registration will open for that this week. And we expect our application this week also to be in E-Plan, which will give us our allocation for the year. I will let you know that we opened up registration last Tuesday, Parent-Teacher Conference Day. Since then, we've had 496 students register for summer school, and 183 of those are third graders. So that is our summer school overview.
When you say by invitation, what does that mean?
So by invitation, that's our priority. Students that scored below the 50th percentile on the benchmark, or students in the upper grades that we had that may be at some risk for not meeting expectations on TCAP.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah,
So when we say, please.
I'm sorry, who?
I heard somebody.
Go ahead.
Maybe it was just the universe telling me to shut up. So when we have that sort of global, I didn't listen, no, I rarely do, that may be at risk, that allows us a little bit of wiggle room to maybe catch those students that aren't missing a metric or can't demonstrably be put down into a number or reduced to a number. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're able to get a broader swath of students in?
Yes,
by invitation.
absolutely. We send each week, we sent today to principals a list of students that have registered, so they can follow back up with teachers, and we can get a broader reach by that way, for sure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Couple questions.
Go ahead.
Just have a couple of questions. What determines the number of students that we can serve? Is it how many teachers we have, or is there a cap on money that we get funded for this? How is that?
In years past, it's been based on the number of teachers that we've had. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is our 4th year, and we've never not been able to serve students that need summer school. We've always had enough teachers, subs. We just made it work, and I feel very strongly that if they need it, we're going to somehow make that work.
Okay, great. And just one other question that on the transportation, I saw that 2 of the sites were for all 6th graders will be at one school and all pre-K will be at one school. How does that work with the transportation?
So 6th grade, we're not providing transportation for them unless they're in the pittered zone, then they will be given transportation. With pre-K, it is parents bring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Settles?
I just wanted to say I am glad. I always look forward to you doing your presentation about summer school. I really, really do. I appreciate the fact that it's going to that 4-day with the 1-day makeup. I think that is brilliant. That's going to help out a lot. I'm sure people, parents and teachers, parents, teachers, and students will appreciate that. For the Friday off, because it's kind of an incentive. Get all your stuff done. You have to come on Friday. But that makeup time, I think, is going to be I think we'll see a real benefit from that. So that stuck out to me above everything. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you. I was a little nervous about it first, but reached out to some teachers and got teacher input, and they were very excited about it, ones that had taught the previous years. And then, it's worked out really well for 3rd grade, for sure,
Yes.
for the makeup day.
Yeah, love that.
Ms. Long?
Do you anticipate any problems with not providing transportation on Fridays to those that have to do the makeups?
So I will tell you, we'll work closely with those families Monday through Thursday, that if there is a makeup, we worked with them last year to provide what we need to on those days, so I don't see a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Dodd?
So by invitation, so we're filling the spots they have priority.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? And then after that, you're talking about signing up for registration.
We will take a look at that based on how many we have priority and how many teachers we have that can meet the other needs, but absolutely.
But we could have some kids who sign up that are not on our priority list.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, and I will say, I came and last summer, I went to several of the schools last summer to summer school, and I was very impressed.
Yeah.
So I'm sure y'all are going to do an awesome job again this year.
I'm counting on it. And teachers do a fabulous job, and administrators, everybody it is a fun month of June, I will say.
Very.
Lots of learning going on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ms. Long?
I do love the uninterrupted 2-hour block for ELA and math. That is critical. Good job with that.
And we are using our expeditionary learning curriculum as well, and we're doing Math for Love that we've used over the past 3 years as well. So very excited about that.
That's great. Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Good
you.
luck, and let's make it go. I'm sure it will go wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Director of Schools' final overall evaluation score.
It's about time. On February 16th, the State Board of Education approved the district and school designations for the 2022-2023 school year. With this information, the board can now complete Section 2 of the Director's Annual Evaluation and issue an overall evaluation score for Dr. Duke for the 2022-2023 school year. With the addition of this information, the scores provided for Appendix C of the evaluation were calculated and came to a score of 4.25. The Appendix C score was added to the qualitative scores previously calculated for an overall evaluation score of 4.61. Congratulations, Dr. Duke.
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
This
Didn't
guy's the
realize you were
best.
so good 1,130 days ago.
I know, wow.
You're an overachiever, aren't you?
Good.
I'm sure there's some
Yes.
bonus in there somewhere.
We're just glad to finally, in February or March of 2024, to finally have data from 2022, 23.
Yeah.
All right, director's update. What you got for us?
Yeah, just a couple things. First, I would be remiss, Miss Dodd reminded me as the math teacher here on the board that this Thursday is March 14th or 3/14, which is Pi Day.
Pi Day.
And Cindy Klisch has celebrated that as a long time, 3.14, and so I'm sure Miss Dr. Oliver will continue that tradition. So I want to
Yes.
shout out to Miss Dodd for that.
There's lots of pizza places who have their pizzas for $3.14. So.
Good
Yes,
information.
Patios
Good to
does, I
know.
know.
Good information.
Celebrating math.
No, they did not pay me to say that. The small pizza, one of the small,
Yeah, that's a mic-
$3.14 on Thursday.
So we can celebrate math all day long. In other news, though, the other update I have is Ms. Bush has been with us now since July, and she's been doing a thorough policy review, reviewing our policies, looking at those. And we are actually looking in May for one of our meetings at central office to hold basically a policy meeting, some changes that we want to make sure we can discuss and look at. So we've been holding those. One of those specifically will be to FMLA, which is our Family Medical Leave Act policy, which is board policy 5.305. And that is, again, FMLA leave for our employees. School districts are required to designate a 12-month period for FMLA purposes. Currently, our board policy designates the 12-month period as a fixed calendar year from January to December annually. What we'll be proposing to the board is to make a change to that 12-month period that would take effect upon the policy being approved going into next school year. The proposed change would transition from the fixed calendar year of January to December to a rolling 12-month period measured backward from the date the employee actually used the FMLA. So that would start their one-year calendar. The reason I'm bringing this to your attention tonight is federal law does require, if we make a change, that we provide at least 60 days of notice to the policy change to all employees. So we'll be sending all of our employees notification of this proposed change at the end of March, and then we'll formally be bringing this recommendation to the board in May at a meeting that we have set aside. I'm happy to answer any questions you have on this. Ms. Bush can also answer questions on this. Again, we just wanted to bring it to your attention so when you saw that notice, you knew that was the notice that we're required to give so that we can have full discussion on it in May. But we're happy to answer questions you have now.
All right, here's a question or scenario maybe. Okay, so for me, if I start March the 1st, all right, so I've got from March the 1st of 2024 to March 1st, 2025. If Amanda starts April, hers goes from April to April. Am I correct?
She would become FMLA eligible after working with us for a year or meeting the hourly threshold. Yes.
Okay, but that's the way it would work. It's individually.
Yes. So let's say Ms. Moore became eligible for FMLA in April and she took FMLA in May for an FMLA qualifying reason, then her calendar would start in May and she would be not be able, well, depending on how much time she took, right? Hypotheticals are an attorney's worst nightmare. I will say that because there are a lot of what ifs. But if she took all of her leave consecutively, then she would be eligible again at the next May. So under the new system, right now, employees are eligible for FMLA once per year if they take FMLA leave consecutively between that January through December time period. So they would not become eligible again if they took FMLA, let's say, in March currently. They would not be eligible to take it again until January, until the year started.
Good. Ms. Moore, you had a question?
I've got a couple questions. So with the calendar running for every person, does this make it an administrative nightmare or is it?
No, a lot of human resources departments argue that doing it individually, because you have employees coming on at different times, you're already looking at FMLA individually. So a lot of HR departments argue that the rolling period is actually more efficient service delivery model because you're going to be able to look, when did the employee last take leave, and then calculate based off of that.
Okay. And just one other question. I'm trying to think if anybody could get caught in this in the transition period. So the proposal would be that it starts July 1, this new.
It would, so we are looking to take it on first reading, because we'll still do 2 readings. So first reading May 28th, and then the second reading in the June, with it starting July 1st.
So if I'm in the middle of my FMLA leave, crossing July 1st.
Yes.
What happens to my calendar?
So the Department of Labor has put out a couple of different types of guidance, but we would err on the side of the employee.
Okay.
And basically what the Department of Labor says is you look at it on a case-by-case basis, and you apply the leave that most benefits the employee. So we would work with each employee individually for the period of this weird transition time.
Okay, that was my concern.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. My last update, sir, is just continues to be a very busy legislative session with lots of things happening. And we're continuing to watch, of course, everything that's going on with the Education Scholarship Freedom Account, or the voucher program that the governor is proposing. Had an opportunity last week to be up on Capitol Hill and attend one of the hearings. Very interesting. Lot of legislation going through, so we're just keeping a close eye on that. And hopefully by the end of April, we should have some pretty good ideas of where we are so we can begin planning for next year. I will say, one of the things we're watching really carefully is any changes to the 4th grade adequate growth model for those students that were promoted to 4th grade on a pathway. We talked about this last time. There have been some changes that have been proposed as parts of other bills, so we're keeping our eye on that. And like I said, nothing really to say except we're watching a lot right now, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Mr. Ballard?
I wanted to be sure, I think we understand we're going to be off on Eclipse Day. No
So-
flight. The eclipse is April the 8th.
That's right.
And so we will be in attendance on that. I said off. but-
Yes.
So
I thought you were throwing me a curveball there, Mr. Ballard.
No, so we'll be in attendance. And to go along with that, the City School Foundation is going to sponsor the eyeglasses that are eclipse glasses that are necessary for that. So that'll be funded. So we thank the City School Foundation for taking care of that for us. And I think it's going to be a great school day.
Yeah.
I want to get my glasses and come sit there and watch it too. So
Please do. You know, I think it was 7 years ago. I don't know if Lisa's in here. Just, not long ago that we had an eclipse. I think in Murfreesboro, it's a partial eclipse. We'll be at like 94, 95% here in Murfreesboro. But I don't ever remember having an eclipse in elementary school, and some of our students are going to go through multiple ones. So we're excited. Our plan right now is to stay in school. We don't see any reason why that's going to change, but we'll make sure, again, thank you to the City Schools Foundation, having those glasses for our students so we can have fun. I know Ms. Arnett said Ms. Barch is already working on some fun eclipse activities, so we'll make a day out of it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Very good.
I say we make a day out of the pie thing and
And the
pie.
They will.
pizza.
I'm sure they'll be
Yeah.
celebrating it.
the next eclipse is 2044. So Butch,
Oh, Lord.
What? Are you trying to tell me I won't be here for that?
save your glasses. For
I quit.
You're going to get me a pair? Golly.
Wow.
I'll watch it with you then. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let me remind everybody, and I was very glad that one of the newest elected member of the county school board has called me already and reached out and encouraging all of us to work together.
Excellent.
And I was very proud of that because I think that's something that we're working on with our joint meetings with the director and with the county, so that's good. Okay, anything else?
I saw that there was a group of educators protesting about they were gonna
About
have?
the vouchers.
Yeah, what group was it, Barbara, do you know?
There was a
vouchers,
large homeschool group that went to the Capitol.
And they were against it as well?
Uh-huh.
I haven't met anyone for it, other than legislators.
That's interesting. The homeschoolers were against it, and would they not be receiving funds?
No.
Would, but not
They
anymore.
would,
They've opted out.
They opted out. They said no.
They suggested that they be opted out of Category 4.
I have nothing.
Aren't there some private schools that are opting out?
We'll see.
Have said so?
We'll see.
I thought I
They-
saw something like that too.
They have the, they have the right to be able to opt out and take the money or not. So we'll see how that hashes out, but I appreciate all of you reaching out to your legislators because that, they need to hear our voices.
I did that. I think I've sent emails.
Several people have, yeah.
I have too. I think we all have, whether or not how far we get, we don't know. Okay. All right, anything else come before this board tonight? Otherwise, we have a motion to adjourn.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.